Why, hello there, everybody, my lovelies. It has been fantastic. It's been another week. I am super happy to see you. I am Trekken, and you're here with me, joining me for assembly, where we code a bot that wins together. Man, it has been a week, so it might actually seem like last week I didn't but we were here last week, and if you're looking for the bot and be like, what happened? It crashed everything. We were running our bot and it crashed everything. So this week we're actually the same. We're working on the combat simulator. So if you're watching this VOD later on, part of it will be a little bit missing. So you'll miss a bit of the combat simulator prior, because man, it crashed. My whole computer took everything down with it in with one blow. So um, yeah, I don't know really what to say for that, but we're back here, and so we're going to be working on the combat simulators. Just a little bit of an idea of what assembly is. This is where we work on our project, our group community project together in a mob programming format. Now, if you're in a community, you can come work with me on this project or bring your own project and we work side by side, a little bit of a co-working session to make some progress on our projects together. And we're going to continue with Pigbot, our bot that's supposed to mimic mimic human um, playstyle, while at the same time being a good program practice spot. So maybe we should just get back into it, because last week we lost a bit of time. And maybe what we'll also do is, like I said, last week we were exploring the combat simulator. So, you know what? I forgot to pop it up. So let's see if I can pop up the. Give me a sec. Because I forgot to, because we had the combat simulator last time, and there was a lot of exploring what the combat simulator did and how it works. So I guess we're gonna be cutting that out, and we can jump right into the combat simulator. But I am gonna get my notes up so we can have a bit of a road. Like, we're gonna look at the roadmap, because that's what we always do. We start off with our roadmap, and then with our roadmap, we will. My stuff is lagging a little bit. With our roadmap. Oh, it popped up. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. And the reason why I'm not quite showing you, because sometimes this can be a little finicky, while I don't want you guys to see my desktop just pop up and it's all just like, here it is, open a new window. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, so okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the project as a whole. If you know Pigbot, we've done last time, the last recorded time, I guess, was showing, oh, we're doing the observer. Oh my gosh, everything hurts right now. OBS is killing me, literally killing me right now. OBS, please stop. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I didn't want it to be stumbling through this. I'm glad I didn't show you, because it's like all over the place right now. Maybe I should just skip it if it's gonna be a pain like this. All right, I think I got it. Okay, let's go to it. All right, so let's go to our roadmap. So right now we're here at the combat simulator, and the core aspect of here is just to give our bot a ability to assess whether or not it can take a fight. And so the combat simulator is gonna return an enum and kind of like a gradient range. And I haven't really understood the full gradient. It wasn't very well documented how that works, but that's okay. We'll figure it out together. That's the fun part. But I do have You know what? I think we'll actually throw it in our notes how the gradients work. We'll actually toss this in here. Do we have actually a note section in here? We do not. Maybe we just pop it in here and just kind of. No, okay. We'll just kind of put this like side note section. Side note. And kind of like, okay, combat simulator. And it works like this. Whoops. Okay. Combat simulator. There we go. Okay. So we got a couple of looks like from 0 to 10, so 11. 11, like a gradient of an 11. Possible options of whether or not we want to attack. So it's not an off and on, which is good. So we can be like, okay, well, maybe we have a slight victory, slight, you know, marginal, close, decisive, overwhelming, empathic. And then lost, marginal, close, decisive, overwhelming, empathic. Now, I don't quite understand how it comes to this conclusion, which might be problematic, but I think we'll have to do some tests, and you know, I'd rather maybe get it out there, understanding how it takes, you know, how does it make those decisions, and maybe have it printed, and then kind of see, okay, well, yeah, you should probably not take it. Now, I don't know if we want to make it that it says it in the chat, so when we watch the replays, we can actually see what it decided when it decided to take a fight. I'm actually really curious. Yeah, let's do that, right? Maybe we should have it pop in the chat and actually say, hey, I'm going to take this fight. Or like, oh, this is what the fight is. And, you know, and then it just pops in the chat. So when we see the replays, we are like, okay, well, you know, it took a fight that looked close on paper. Or it thought it was close, and it ended up not being anywhere close, and it just got destroyed. Okay, so I don't know if I want to have this up. Okay, well, let's get back to where we were before, and then we'll kind of figure that as we go along. So if I remember correctly, last time what we were doing, we were removing old logic. Oh, volume is low. Alpha channel, give me a sec. You sure the volume is low? Maybe is your actual volume low, or is it actually me low? Because my volume's looking pretty spicy high. Let me test. Oh, there's my volume's gone up. Okay, so I turned up my actual mic volume. Maybe turn it up a little higher too. Test. Yeah, my mic volume's. Oh, you know what? There. Let me. Yeah, I turned. Okay, my output was a little. There we go. Okay, I turned up my own volume. I turned up my own volume, so that should actually. There we go. Okay, so those of you who are just joining and just tuning in, what we're doing is we're coding this bot. This is PigBot. We've been working on this for quite some time, a couple of weeks. And so now we're going to be giving it a combat simulator so that it can decide when to take a fight. So if you're just joining me and you're new here, be sure to, you know, you want to get a template. We got a template started. If you've never made a bot before, exploration template, you can get your own bot started less than 30 minutes. If you have made a bot and you want to like get a condensed version of the stuff we've learned from bot making, exclamation mark newsletter. Yeah, newsletter. Boo, boo, boo. You can get that access to that, and I'll send you a bi-weekly update of just essentially the core pieces of what we've learned while building bots. Really summarized, and so it's super easy for you to use and follow. But if you're here to also code alongside me, You're here to join me. Let's do it. Let's code this bot for good. Oh, is my music going too loud? Music. How's this music? No, it looks fine. Okay. So if you remember correctly, if you were here last time or you're catching up or whatever, we are working on the combat simulator, which is essentially going to be the brain of whether or not this bot decides to take a fight. Last thing I was doing was ripping out the old logic, and it's been a week, so I can't quite remember what I was ripping out and where. So I guess what we can kind of do before we start ripping out, good news is you hear no music. Maybe the music is too loud or too low. We can maybe bump it up a bit. Okay, I don't want to bump it up too loud because then I won't be able to hear myself. Okay. Not that I don't like the tunes. So we're adding the combat simulator, and in the combat simulator, before we do that, I wanted to show you the maps. So we finished the new maps, and I want to just double check to see if they work. Where's the config file? So these are the new maps that have the newest patch for StarCraft 2 for humans, so the bots can use it. And so we're going to see if our bot can actually use this map. And we'll do, if it does, when we get to a certain milestone, we'll spend time actually retrofitting our bot for the new maps. We'll do a whole session around that. That's not today, but we're just do a quick thing because before this wasn't working. Like we weren't getting any of like the new stuff wasn't working at all. So now though, thanks to the team working on the new maps, we now have new patch maps, new maps for our bots can play out. Ooh, look at that! Pylon has a new background, splash screen, and everything. Sexy. So, Pylon will have the. Oh, hello, Mind Me. Oh my God, long time no see, my friend. Long time no see. So, like I said, today we're going to be making sure that the double check to make sure the bot runs on the new map, Pylon AE. You might, if you've been around, you'll know that last time I tried to get Pylon AE, must be almost 2 months ago, a month ago. It crashed everything. So this new version of Pylon AE should work. And if it works, we'll start retrofitting our bot in the next couple of weeks to run on the new ladder, a preseason of the ladder, and that way we can start getting feedback, right? Because we've actually not had feedback from our bot from a long time on the ladder because of it, right? Thanks, Mind Me. You're always a champion. Everyone give Mind Me a hello. Mind Me is a fantastic mentor, top bot maker. Why can I not scroll? That's weird. That's super weird. But it looks like it works. So good news is it looks like it works. I don't think the wall off is going to work though, because I don't think the wall offs are programmed. Is that a gold base? That's like a weird little gold going on. I don't know how I feel about this map. We'll see. Let's see. We'll watch and to see if we have yes, Mind Me makes -0. Mind Me is he sometimes will join me here. Oh, so it looks like we don't have the wall off. Oh, I thought it crashed. Scared the crap out of me. So one of the biggest things is we'll have to go through the changes of the patch and just have like an idea of, so we're actually able to see right now, and I don't know if you guys can see, you can see down in my debug, it's saying victory empathic. So the bot actually thinks it can win like absolutely right now. Decisive, man, it thinks it obviously believes it's gonna win. So like we can kind of see how it's thinking. I don't know if you guys can see, it's underneath the chat. And I don't know if I should maybe move the chat somewhere else so we can actually, so you guys can see how the bot is thinking. Do I want to move the chat somewhere else? Or can you guys see that? Okay. Anyways, we can kind of see how the combat simulator is. Right now, the bot thinks it can win. And I'm inclined to say, yeah, you probably could win right now, and that's okay. I don't know how we're gonna have to gate that. Oh my god, something is. So now the bot thinks it's gonna win. And it very well could. Something is oh, okay, now we can scroll. That was weird. I couldn't scroll before. Well, it gets look okay. So look now. Oh, now it says it's gonna lose decisively. So the scout. Oh, this is kind of cool. We can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can see it again. It did the scout, and now it says, "Oh, I'm gonna lose decisively." So maybe we have to figure out how to make sure it doesn't like only see partially the enemy and then decides, "Oh, I'm gonna win," and then it like runs away and then dies. But look at this. This is so weird. It doesn't see anything, and it thinks it can win. All right, mind me, thanks. So I don't know. Right now, it thinks it can win, and so maybe we should only say check if the enemy is visible. If enemy's army is visible, like how would we be able to gate it not to make a false positive? Because that's going to be a big problem I see right now. Because right now it sees the enemy's army and it's like, oh, I'm going to lose. I'm not going to go. And so it knows it's going to lose, or it says it knows. I don't know what it knows. Now it thinks it's going to do a tie. I don't know what it's basing that off of. I don't know what it's basing any of this off of. It's just, how is it making that decision? I don't know. And oh, look at that. Okay, so this is our, if you guys remember, this is the partially observed Makarov decision process. I don't know what that means. Oh, I see what you mean. Partially observed, that's the acronym. So right now it thinks it can win emphatically. Emphatic win. So it's not programmed to attack, but I don't know what would be the best way to keep it from making that decision early in terms of whether we want to gate it to make sure like, hey, you need to see the enemy's army before you decide you want to attack. I don't remember. We'll look what we have. Right now, I think we have it that it checks. Okay, we can actually gate it by saying, hey, do you have an observer? All right, if you have an observer, Oh, right now, hold on. My getting a bit of a lag, I think, on the stream. I hope I need to fix that. Wait a sec. Give me a sec, guys. I just had it was a bit of a lag, and I don't want to lag too much on the stream. So those who don't know, okay, there we go. I think that might have fixed it. I don't know. My virtual camera has actually been causing a lot of lag lately. What is this bot doing actually? So there is supposed to be an observer that goes out to go check what the enemy is doing, and I don't know what this observer is doing. It's a little weird. So we may have a problem in this map with actually not having the spots labeled correctly. Because this, I think my observer is like not... This observer, like, look, this observer is supposed to be going around the enemy's base, and I don't know what it's doing. It's just sitting there. So that's bad, first and foremost. And it might be just this map. This map might be Gucci broken. But let's see if they go and attack. But that actually doesn't make sense because the other observer went and did the scouting. So we'll have to maybe take a look into that closer later on. Is this guy going to go? Are we going to go attack? So yeah, right now the bot thinks it has a resounding victory, which is odd seeing as it hasn't. Oh, you know what? I have to increase my scrolling. Let's increase the scrolling so I can scroll faster. Mouse keyboard speed. Up it, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, we can scroll over. We can move around the map a bit better. So this observer is supposed to be exploring the enemy, and I'm actually not sure what he's doing. This guy's watching like he's supposed to. So I can't honestly say what this observer is doing. I can't say why we haven't attacked. Oh, we're being attacked. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. So it thinks it can win this decisively, which is good because this does look like it decisively can win. And then okay. So what we do know is that so far it looks like it can do it. It can pretty assess, I think, obvious situations. So let's. What do we want to do? Oh yeah, we put the computer on easy. We put it on macro, which is good. So what do we want to do here? So I guess we want to stop the spam of combat. What was it called again? What was this combat simulator's output called again? What did we call this? What was this combat simulator? It's mediator manager. Let's maybe pull up the. Let's pull up the actual combat simulator. Let's can win fight. Okay, it's called can win fight. So can win. Can. Is it in combat simulator then? Can win. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so so right now we're feeding it the enemy units. But if I remember correctly, we could probably feed it like the memory of the enemy units too. So we need to not give it enemy units because so right now it's looking at just the enemy units it can see. So we should actually feed it the enemy units in memory. How does that go again? I always forget. Is it cached? Is it cached memory? Cached army? Here it is. Get cached enemy units. Here we go. So we'll use this, which is bot meteor get cached enemy units or enemy army. We'll use this and then we'll feed that to can win. Enemy units equal that, and then we'll actually feed it that. So that should tell us. That should help the bot decide, based on what it's seen, whether or not it can take a fight. We'll actually go. We'll also turn off. We'll turn off the new map. We'll have to spend a whole session actually working on the new maps and like fixing the problems with the new maps for us. We'll go back to Interloper. But it looks like so far with torches we can't actually we actually cannot get all of it. We lose our ability to do the what's it called again, the wall off. So we could actually do maybe a whole episode where we assess the wall off more dynamically, so that whatever map our bot is on, it does the wall off properly. That is not a today thing, but it would probably would be beneficial to have a solution for wall off so that we could just calculate the wall off no matter what. right now we're relying on the Ares framework to do the wall off, and I think that might not be practical long run. Okay, so let's so what while we wait for this load up, how is everyone here? How's everyone going? What are you looking forward to seeing with this bot coding? Let's hear. So Robo J Song and Alpha Channel, and who else is in here? Mind me sitting in the background. Let me hear you shout out what you're excited to see. What would you like to see? Okay, so we're back in Interloper. You know what? Is my drag scroll? I think my drag scroll is disabled. How do I turn back on drag scroll? Drag scroll. It is there. Huh. No, never mind. There it is. Enable mouse sensitivity. Oh shit, what happened? Oh my gosh. It's always something new. So it looks like maybe something's wrong with the ID from the old map still. Right now, I'm very slowly starting to work on a bot of my own. Right now, I mainly want to get to know folks in the community. Well, welcome Alpha Channel. What kind of bot? Tell me about your bot. What kind of bot you want to make? No, you don't have any pressure to start one right now, but tell me about the bot you want to make it. Why you want to make a bot? What code are you using? Python? Are you learning from Python? Hello, Dyson. One of the key things too, those of you who are in the community, I'm looking at you, Dyson. And mind me, if you're in the community, we can actually code together. It takes a lot of pressure off. We work on this project. This is a mob programming session, so as much as it seems like it's just me, this is actually open to members of the AI makers community. Those of you who are already in there, that's you can come in and code alongside me, and we work on this project together. That way, it kind of takes off the edge of having to start a whole project on your own. And then, if you're contributing. Now, if you don't want to do the session as well, these projects, one of the things about this assembly is the projects need to be community facing. So any project we do together here on assembly, the rule for that is it's got to be something that anybody can contribute to in the community, because we're working on these projects together. Oh, is this gonna crash again? Okay, I thought it was gonna crash again. So we're gonna actually see how cached enemy army works for the bot and whether or not it is taking it into consideration. We want to see how it takes it into consideration. Because cached enemy army will determine whether or not the bot thinks it can win. So now the bot thinks it has an empathic loss. It thinks it's going to lose. It only has one. I don't know how it assumes it's going to lose. Oh, that's why. It only has one zealot, so it knows it's going to lose. Overwhelming loss now. It says it's going to have an overwhelming loss, which is good. So this is good. I think the cached enemy army is a good way for it to believe whether or not it's going to win or lose. So essentially, as long as this cached enemy army, it will keep that threshold until it gets updated information. So what we should hopefully see is that when the bot thinks it's stronger, it should change from loss overwhelming, because right now it's going to think it has loss overwhelming until it gets updated information. And so if I'm lucky, this scout, this observer should give it additional information where it thinks it's going to win. Well, right now it thinks it's going to win. I don't know how it got that. It hasn't seen anything. So it thinks it's gonna have a. Oh no! Okay, now it thinks it's gonna lose. Close. So it thinks it's gonna be an overwhelming loss. I don't know how or why it believes that though. I think it might win. Like, I think that's very timid, personally. Like, what do we have here? Oh, because of the Marauders. Yeah, the Marauders actually might make a loss. So it actually might be right about that, because the Marauders is gonna make a big difference. So decisive loss. Oh, because we now have a Immortal. So now it thinks it has a better chance. Well, I think it's gonna lose. It says decisive. I don't know. Is decisive overwhelming loss? So the observer is giving it information, which is good. So it should go over there and the army of this guy again. It has two overwhelming and decisive. Like, what does overwhelming and decisive look like? Overwhelming, decisive. So that's about a 2. So it thinks it's gonna lose. I think it would win personally. I think that is a little sensitive. Like, I'm pretty sure we would win this fight. Like, I don't know how it's coming to this conclusion. Oh my god, did it just crash? I really hate the bug of these old maps. Maybe we should switch to the new maps. So they don't crash anymore with this missing ID. There's an ID that's missing. Oh, do I want to switch to the old maps? Give me a second, guys, because I mean, do I want to switch to the new maps? I have to decide if it's worth digging through. Okay, let's see if I can fix this without making this a whole thing. What do I do? What should I do? Okay, let's see if I can. So I don't want to spend my whole day trying to solve this. Like, I think I used up an entire session solving this one time. Let's see if I can. It's just saved in my Windows stuff to get to this really quickly. I should probably just save this folder in hindsight, so I don't have to do this every time, but let's see if I can. What is this? It wants 4446. 4446. Something related to gathering. Okay, so I have to go find. Let's see if I can find this folder so it will stop crashing. So just to give you an idea what happened in the old maps, there's an ID missing, and whenever the bot does not find this ID, it starts freaking out and then it crashes the whole thing. So I have to figure out where this. And now if I want to, normally what happens is I have to kind of find my environment info. And then come out. Oh, it's in my virtual environment. That's why it's crashing, because I'm in a virtual environment. So I don't know how I would fix this in my virtual environment. Actually don't know how to fix this, now that I think about that. Okay, maybe actually I'll have to use an AI to fix this, because I only know how to fix this on my machine. not necessarily in a the virtual environment, because I don't know how it will handle StarCraft 2 specifically. So let me see if I can. We'll start a new one of these conversations. So I know how to do this on my actual computer, but modify. Can I actually do it within the modify site? Maybe I can add this here. Oh, maybe it's, oh, maybe I just have to go in my F drive and inside Pigbot. Oh, maybe I could have just, is it in libraries, site packages? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, I found it. Can maybe do this manually. I just have to find StarCraft 2 and just add it there. Question is, I have to figure out where do I add this into? Eris starter pack. It's inside Eris starter. Oh, I think I found it. Is it this? Sorry guys, sorry for the intermission while I figure out how to solve this crash. Sometimes this is always painful. Maybe I can do it within the, I just go into the, in here. And libraries maybe? Is it in Bernie? Nope. Huh. Add. So I have to find the SE2 folder. Oh, did I find it? I might have found it. Hold on. Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. SE2 right here. All right, I think I found it. So IDs. What's in here next? What do I have to find? SE2. Ability IDs. So it's an ability ID. Here it is. Okay. Oh, I found it. Thank the Matrix. Okay, let's add this. Finally, let's do this. Found it. All right. Okay. That should fix our problem. We should be able to do this now without problems. Okay, let's go back to what we were doing. Actually, I'm actually pretty okay with the tests now. I think we can institute it and then we'll tweak it. Let's institute it now. Let's add them in. and then we'll kind of massage it as we go. Let's go combat. So can win fights. Okay, let's look through the logic here. So what we do is we handle attacks. We can actually get rid of the retreat threshold. We can actually get rid of all this code here. We do not need a threshold. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that threshold. And we also have it here. So if build order is complete and not in early defense mode, if bot can win fight. Oh, it's not true. Okay, so we need to actually say, what does this produce? So it produces an enum engagement result. So is there a way we can actually translate that result into a number? How do we want to do this? Yeah, it's not going to attack. So it's like, oh. So it's like, okay, don't attack if enemy value is suspiciously low. When build order is in complete or defensive mode, focus on defending if needed. So this is our attack mechanism right here, which is what we want to test. So it's like if bot mediator can enemy fights. What does timing adjust do? Timing adjust? What does this do? Ah! Timing adjust. Whether to consider distance between units. I mean, yeah, I think we should consider the distance. Absolutely. So yeah, you want to take that into consideration. Good positioning. What is whether or not we have a good position? Let's double check. What does that do? Whether to assume units are decently split. Actually don't do that. And then workers do no damage. Whether to ignore workers damage. Yeah, ignore the workers. Forget the, yeah, let's ignore workers. Yeah, just ignore the workers. So, okay. And so we kind of have to decide how we want to, this is an enum. So it's not true or false, because I guess I thought initially it was going to be true or false. Rather, what's going to be the best way? Like, I would like to say, oh, if it's this or greater, attack. If it's less than this, no, don't do this. And actually going to put ChatGPT in here and do a little bit of an ask of a question, double check. So what is this? What is this in handle in handle attack toggles. I'm using the can win fight, which is an enum. Oh crap, I just like opened up something. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, I had an example of it somewhere. I did have an example. Oh, so you can only actually, so for example, you can use useful. So I have this example. Do we want to look at this example and maybe we can figure out how to best use it? Oh, there's a constants in, so let's actually see if we can take a look at the constants in here. There's a maybe we can make sense of how to use it. So it's in source areas Constants. And what we're looking for is loss. Okay, here we go. So I think if we use the constants in here, um, is how it this is how it's determined. So loss empathetic or worse, loss overwhelming or worse. Okay, so we can just use these somehow. Loss decisive or worse, and it's kind of like looks like it. Yeah. Okay, so we have some constants in here which we can use. Okay, so we can use these constants to. I wish this was a little bit better documented. Like, I had to get Rasper to send this to me, but let's maybe we should do I'll do like a build. Sorry, a guide. It'd be nice to do a guide on this. So I think other people would probably, anybody who wants to do this afterwards would be like, how do I use this? If you look at the documentation, it's like nowhere in the documentation how to use it at all. So I mean, you'd have to have access to Rasper or watch his VOD to figure out how to use it, right? Now, mind you, I mean, this is just what's the word? You know, it's in here. Okay, so you know what? I'm actually gonna put this in my. I'm gonna put this in my notes because this actually will be. I might even put this in my newsletter. How to use how to use the combat simulator. So this might be my newsletter for this week, is how to use this combat simulator. Okay, cool. Combat simulator. So yeah, well, you know what? We'll make that this week's newsletter. How to use a combat simulator. I'll do like a little bit of a tutorial on that in my newsletter this week, because at least I'll have something written down and someone can look at it later or whatever. Okay. So we have some constants that we can pull from. So what's a good decision? Because we have a couple of decisions here. We have loss empathic or worse, loss overwhelming or worse, decisive or worse, close or worse. And so I think it's okay for our bot to actually go, is there tie or better? Yeah, so we could actually say tie or better. So it equals tie or better. So we could actually probably call the constants in as a, let's call constants in. That's important constants. Am I already using it from here? Am I already calling the constants? Just use bot.constants. Here it is. Here at unit roles. What is it under? Is this under anything specific? I guess not. I guess I just call them in as they're necessary. Or do you call all of them in? Let's find out. Oh, is it thinking for me? Engagement results? Is that what it's called? I didn't see that there. Did you see engage? Oh, it's engaged. There it is. Engagement results. I see. So we actually don't need that here because we won't be calling engagement results in. We'll actually be calling it in combat. Oh, that was combat. So now we can actually use it by saying, so can win fights. And so then we'll say, so we'll say, decide whether or not to retreat based on army ratio. engagement result. Close loss is pretty good. That's actually kind of smart. That's a little scary because that's kind of what I... No, actually, let's go tie or better. Because, like, we should... You know, this is for all-out attack, right? Don't attack the enemy. Army value suspiciously low. What's there? Where's our... So this is decide whether or not to retreat. So that's if or we have a close loss, then it should retreat. And then this one should be... You know what? That's not necessary anymore. We don't need this. So let's say tie or better. Let's say if it's a tie or better. Because I think we can... If it's a tie or better... What's it called? Tie or better? Tie or better. So it's tie or better. No, loss marginal or better. Where is this? Tie or better. So it's called tie or better. So let's say tie or better. So tie or better. Oh, why didn't you pull it in? That's weird. Oh, the problem is if it's a tie or better is that the enemy is likely made more units that you don't know. Yeah, but like positioning could play a role, or I mean, that's right. That's like Might Me makes a good point. But I feel like if it's tie, there's a lot of things that if we ultimately I guess maybe it might be situational too. Because to me, I think like a tie or better, I mean, it's also taking in distance into consideration, positioning into consideration. What's the next step up? What's after tie? Is it very close? You know, slightly better than a tie. What's slightly better than a tie? Victory marginal. Victory marginal. Let's do tie or better, and then if it doesn't, do we need to use in, or is it equals to? Like, do we have to do in, or is it lost close or worse? Is that how it is? I might not be using this correctly. Let me double check. Lost close or worse? So lost close or worse. So lost marginal or worse. Lost close or worse. What is close on this scale here? Where's the scale? So like lost marginal and worse. I think you need tie or better. Is there a tie or better? So tie or better. But this is for the retreat. So this would be if this is like, if we're no longer, because it would be lost marginal or worse. Lost marginal or worse is for the retreat. So it should retreat if it has a lost marginal or worse. Yeah, not lost close, so lost marginal. Whoops. Lost marginal or worse. I think you need greater than tie. Can you, like, I don't know if, and I've never actually played around with this before, so is it going to be like bot mediated in engagement results? Or is it going to be like equal to? Is it equal to? Or is it greater than an equal to? I've not actually used this before. Now, IntelliSense likes to say it's in engagement results, so that might be correct because it's a constant. So tie or better, but it's saying it's underlining. So can you explain this problem to me? Let's actually let the... I want to see how this, if I did something wrong, explain and fix. You don't have to fix. I just want you to explain for me, if possible. This means in your code, called lost marginal, the classing unit cannot find the typical da-da-da. All right, you know what? Here, I want you to go look, because look in py. Yeah. So let's take a look. Oh, is it supposed to be a number? No, hold on. No. If results is you're trying to use results, but in your constant file, in the result can only define the loss related attributes, loss marginal for I have to call loss marginal worse. You should compare against existing values. If results equals, then it's marginal. Is that how it works? I thought this was actually it was already doing that. I think it's doing that here. Oh, it is okay. Ah, you do. Okay. I see how. Okay, I see how we're supposed to be using it. You don't do engagement results. You just go. If results, just go like this. Okay. Wait, what did you just import? It just imported something. Where did you just import? Oh, you have to import the actual thing. You have to import tie or better. Oh, I have to import the... Where is it importing that? Okay. Tie or better. Ah, I have to actually import the thing okay. I have to import it. Got it. So what did so I can't use that. So I need to import tie or better. What else do I want to use? So yeah, mine said tie or better. So I want tie or better, and then I want lodge. I also want to import. What else? What's the other one I wanted to import in? Loss marginal. Loss marginal or worse. Got it. Loss marginal and worse. So you just import the ones you want. So if you're going to use one, you have to import it. Got it. So loss marginal or worse. So it's like, let's see how it works. Let's see if it's how it's thinking. This is kind of cool. Let's see if it makes this decision. So if it has a tie or better, it's going to attack. Essentially right now. Oh shit, what's going on? Uh-oh. Did I screw up something from the thing? I broke something. Oh no. What did I break? Oh no. I broke something. IDs, ability IDs. Oh snap. I broke something. Something's supposed to be there and I broke it. Ah! Oh no. Oh, good. Okay. Why was this highlighted? That was so weird. Oh my god. Why is that highlighted? Okay. So I broke that when I went and did what I was doing, and I need to put the actual thing in here that is not broken. Okay. Hopefully that works now. Save. This mouse drives me nuts. Don't buy a Logitech mouse, by the way. Do not recommend. Okay. Let's try again. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that looks like it worked. But yeah. So as my me saying, tie or greater, and then lost marginal or worse is what we'll run with for now, and then we'll kind of tweak these. I just want to see if they're working. I should actually do a print statement to see if it when it say hey it's to print when it's making a decision. But let's see what happens. So this is cool. So essentially what will be the next part of this is we're going to want to, now that we have a working kind of combat simulator, we're going to want to think about ourselves. How do we let individual armies, kind of, what movie are you going to see? Mind me, tell me before you go. What movie? Yeah, we're going to be maybe 30 minutes more before we take off. But yeah, I think if this works, we'll say the combat simulator is in, and then the next part of this will be, all right, well, how do we start telling the armies? How does the army start making better decisions? So right now, our ability to attack is very rudimentary. It just either attacks or it doesn't attack with the whole army, and then we have to kind of really think about, okay, well, how do we want to really position this army? So much lag. Why lag? Why you lag? So right now it thinks it has an overwhelming loss. So right now it thinks the loss is decisive. Right now it's waiting for the build order to finish before it decides whether or not it can attack, but I'm actually almost thinking we should let it attack without the build order being done, if this works. I don't know, that seems a little oversensitive. I think we could win this. I don't know how the bot's deciding whether or not it can or cannot win this battle. I think we can win this battle, personally. Yes, I do think 3 Marauder is problematic. Like, what do we have? We have Maybe it is. Maybe it's not winnable. Where's the unit composition? Maybe we should get it to print out what the enemy units look like, so we know what is it like. What is it seeing? So yeah, we'll actually get it to print out the enemy units it's seeing. Oh, it thinks it's a tie. Loss is close. Decisive. Loss is close. Okay, I think. Oh, we lost vision. But it thinks it can win. It's a close loss, it thinks. I don't know. I think we could win. Like with freaking Colossi, I think we could totally win. But it thinks it's gonna lose. Now it thinks it's a tie. So maybe I think it's a little sensitive here. I don't know. I think we could win this easily. But we also have no vision. Yeah, the bot has no vision. We need observers. Where are the observers? What is going on here? Okay, so now it's decided. It thinks it's gonna win. It thinks it has a decisive victory. All right. I don't know how you're making that decision without seeing anything. You have no observers. But if it retreats, that's good too. So like if it doesn't think it can win or whatever, and then it's like, oh. Yeah, it still thinks it's got a good victory, which is good. Okay. So we don't know what it looks like when it thinks it's gonna lose. So we know what it does when it thinks it's gonna win. So let's get it to print out so we know what it thinks the enemy army looks like, so we can maybe get a sense of how it's assessing this and like seeing what the memory looks like or is cached. So this module is actually useless now. We don't actually need this anymore. We don't need army strength. Don't need those anymore. Those are actually obsolete. But they did serve a time, so. And actually, is the debug off? Please tell me the debug is off. Yeah, the debug is off. These extra debugs. Not we're right this second. Oh yeah, we don't need this anymore. actually don't need this anymore. So we're no longer assessing the enemy strength that way. So we actually probably want to maybe put this in our debug. So we actually will move these into our debugs. Oops. And then let's actually print out what the enemy unit looks like. Print. Print enemy units. So let's see what the enemy units look like. Let's turn on the debug. Turn on the debug. It's true. We should be able to get a good sense. So Alpha Channel, you didn't tell me you didn't tell me about your bot. I wanted to hear about your bot. What's the deal with what you're doing with your bot? Have you started it? What kind of bot did you want to make? Why you uh-oh. Where is this import happening? Combat. Enemy strength. Oh, macro. What is this even being used for? And then enemy army value. What is this used for? Oh, we're checking if the enemy army value. We're checking if we're checking if we can. So what's this? So we're like, okay. Oh, we're checking whether or not we can expand. Interesting. So we're actually using the expansion. I forgot that we were using it to decide whether or not we can expand or not, whether it's a good time to expand. We're checking the enemy army value. So maybe we don't need to check the enemy army value instead. So we could probably just do a call. What's a good threshold for expansion, you think? Because we actually do not need to be winning to expand. Loss or worse. Let's just say tie. Tie or better. Loss, marginal or better. Yeah, so if I mean, when do you want to be expanding? Do you want to expand Let's see. Check it for worker saturation. If our army value is greater than our army. So we actually want to do this. We'll say, okay, we'll actually check if we are essentially, okay, we'll actually import. We'll do an import in here. Yeah, we'll take out this import. And then we'll actually do another import. So we'll go from constant import. Like, what was that one calls? Loss marginal or better. So loss marginal or better. We'll pull in loss marginal or better. And then we'll say we don't need these two. And then we'll say here we don't actually want to do, we actually want to do cached enemy units. So actually maybe we want to oh, I have enemy units here twice. So I actually should be mindful how I name that enemy units. That's gonna actually get confusing. Or is it enemy army? Oh, I have enemy. Enemy army. Okay. What if I just should use like a self dot enemy army thing? Yeah, maybe we should do that and just call it. Where do we want to keep this? Here in my stuff. Okay, so we got self that enemy army. And then every step we should actually update on steps. So we'll be like, okay, so self.army equals self-be-needed.army. And then we can actually go back and go bot dot. There we go. So we go enemy army equals bot the enemy army, which is what we want to do. And we can go over here into the macro. And then in here, we can actually go bot that enemy army. And so now it'll check. Basically, it'll expand if it's like, you know, even if it's slightly behind. Rather than like absolutely destroyed behind. So this is good. Okay. So we can test that, I think. Relatively okay with what we're looking at. Let's see. I'm pretty okay with what we're looking at right now. I think we're looking pretty solid now. I'm actually willing to say that we accomplished what we set out to do. I think we actually have the. This is the combat simulator. It's in there. I think it would be nice to be able to put our bot back on the ladder. I think maybe next week it would be a good time to put ourselves back. No, you know, to get the bot ready back for ladder shape by preparing ourselves with the new maps. So then we can get some feedback from what we're doing. It'd be nice to kind of see that feedback. Ah, what is that? Oh, is the enemy actually Protoss? Oh, it is. I probably shouldn't have made it do that, but this is now it's giving me all the units, right? I kind of wanted to see that, but so it even keeps the probes in there too. Interesting. Okay, now let's see what happens when it sees it. So now this guy's gonna go over there and kind of see what the oh. Okay, yeah. So as it adds units, as it sees units, it adds increases. Okay, so it just keeps them in memory. Got it. I wonder if it removes them when they get destroyed, though. That's something I don't know. I don't know if it removes the unit once a unit is destroyed. Maybe you will watch this for a little bit and see if so it'd be kind of interesting to know if whether or not oh snap, don't kill this. Leave my observer alone. It's kind of good to know that if the unit gets destroyed, whether or not it just removes it from memory. So it would be good to know. Kind of want to see. We'll watch when we attack and see what happens. I'm also in the mind, though. I also think now we should take off the condition that the... oh, shit. Got killed. We should take off the condition that... that the build order needs to be finished. I actually don't think the build order should be finished before our bot decides to attack. I think our bot should attack as long as it thinks it can win. I'm actually pretty keen on that now. The bot thinks it can win, it should attack. So we're gonna actually remove that as well as a condition. Yeah, you know what? If it thinks it can win, have at her. You know what? I actually don't have to wait for this to finish to take that out. So, can win fight. Can win fight. So we don't need this anymore. So we just need to know it's not in defensive mode. If bot not in early defense mode. There. So it's decided it's going to attack. We're going to actually see how it how the cached army unit memory works. Hopefully, if it destroys an enemy unit, it removes it from the cached army memory. We'll find out. Okay, let's do a little bit of analysis. This is a lot actually to go through, so I'm actually going to maybe feed this into an AI and see. I forgot, how do I go terminal? Which terminal is this one? Analyze the unit print out and see if units are removed, destroyed. See if it figures that out. Doesn't show a sequence of printouts over time, or nor does it. Okay, maybe I need to be a little bit specific. Check these printouts. Previous terminal only show a single line of printout. So maybe we need to explore to see how the cached enemy units are used. Maybe. Get the units objects for the enemy army. So it may not actually be removing them out. Get the dictionary of enemy units types to the units themselves. No, I don't need that. Get own army. Oh, we can get our own army that way. I actually would be, maybe I would like to use that. Get own army. Might be worth trying. Main army's fine, I guess. No, you know what? I'm gonna have to use our own army because. So what we'll do is actually we'll create another one. And then we'll say on step. We actually only want to set that though if our army exists, if a unit exists. If main army, here it is. And then we'll go back in here, and then we could probably just go like own army here. We don't want to do that one. So just here. Own army. Own army. Okay, that sounds healthy. And can win own army. And then we actually want to go here. In macro, we want to also can win fight. So we actually want to change this from own army. There we go. Okay, so we have a way to now assess our own army versus the enemy army, but let's go back. So it's still a little murky whether or not the cached army is the best way to. Oh, was the enemy greedy? That's just something useful. So get cached enemy army is so far pretty good. Get all enemy army. So I don't know unit memory manager. I don't know. Get cached enemy army. Get the unit objects for the Get the unit objects for them. Maybe let's ask the AIs between what's the difference between get cached enemy army. Manager. Eris. Manager. Mediator. And look into the difference for look into the difference between enemy get cached enemy army versus does it just get enemy army? Enemy army versus just get all enemy. All enemy. Okay, what do you say here? Returns the enemy army is determined cached by the unit carrier. This typically excludes enemy workers, structures, possibly other non-combat units. The cache is updated each frame to remove destroyed. Oh, it does remove destroyed units. Okay. So it should represent the current visible and relevant enemy army. Used for combat evaluation, tactical decisions, and threat assessments. Used for full map information, scouting, and strategic planning. What it returns all enemy units known to the bot, including army structures, possibly even hallucinations or memory units. Interesting. Useful for full map information, scouting, strategic planning. Huh. Okay. So we can it's probably safe to get cached enemy army. So we will stick with get cached enemy army. We'll probably turn off the debug because I don't think we need to be running it now. I think I've turn off the debug. Okay, we're getting coming to the close to the end of this. Let's see how this performs. All right. I think this might be the last test. think we are looking pretty good right now when it comes to the combat simulator. I think one thing I want to reimagine is how we want to do the attacking function. Because right now we just send the entire bot as one, and it's on our roadmap to start breaking them up into squads, and I think that needs to be considered how we want to approach the movement of our bot. And I don't really have a good answer how we want to do that, but I think the idea that we should be thinking about the bot in squads and like into individual units and to break them up as opposed to this one giant blob is going to be pretty important next step. That's actually where we're going next as a kind of a preview. Whether we do that before we whether we do that before we where's he going? Are they going? Are they chasing after us, or they're going to like attack now? Is that what we're doing? So I actually don't want you to attack. Please stay home. Okay, well, I guess that happened. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it's assuming that these units thought they were like, they thought they were going to win. So, oh wait, maybe they can. Who knows? They thought they could win. So maybe that's where we're at right now. This is a weird kind of movement. Yeah, I guess they thought they can win and they're going to go and try. Maybe they can win. This attack movement is a little janky. Okay, all right. Okay, so they are pressing, which is fascinating, really. Why is there no? Why are we not kiting here? Maybe it's the type of unit that's attacking it. It's deciding not to kite. What? Okay, but all right. Well, this bot clearly thought it was gonna win, and so it's like, all right, I'm gonna attack. So yeah, we're gonna have to invent smarter methods to attack. I think that's a... Oh god, yeah. And how it picks targets. So that has to be desperately needs to be redesigned, how the bot is choosing its target. We have to kind of really think this through. Okay, so the ability to we've finished the combat simulator, so we're good with that. I mean, I guess what we don't know is like we need to kind of think about how we want to do this attack. How are they choosing their targets? I mean, we really want to refactor this attack target thing. So let's actually commit that. That's actually a pretty good update. So this is a feature. So let's say that's gonna be bot combat and macro. combat simulator for smarter attack decisions. So, I mean, we can obviously, yeah, let's commit this. And we're going to want to think carefully how we want to design and redesign the attack method or how it chooses its targets. I mean, do we want to have a main army and then we have like smaller little armies and we're able to maybe better understand how the armies are broken up, or how do we want to do the attack targets? Because we have, okay, so let's actually go down and see. And this is, we're in kind of the overtime now, because I think this was good. We just added, we just finished adding the combat simulator. It's done, it works. Combat simulator is ready to go. What we want now though is, and we don't need macro open, we don't need run open. I don't know why this is open. So right now we have one attack target, and it's like, all right, when the bot is ready to attack, it just A moves to the enemy. Like, that's it. And we have to really rethink how we want to do that, because that was good for the start of the bot. The bot was fine to do that. It didn't really need much more than that. Wait, what happened here? Okay, anyways. So yeah, so we actually want to start thinking about the army in different pieces and just kind of have this, and I think we have this in our roadmap, right? We kind of actually start thinking of it into squads. Where do we have that? So we actually can check off, we can actually check off only attack the enemy has a combat score of 0. Okay, that's not really important, but we did do we incorporated a combat simulator. So here we are, break up the army into squads. So that's actually the next, and create an anti-air squad. And so yeah, there's some stuff in here. So, and then give squads their own attack targets and combat simulators. Okay, so now what we'll want is this is where we'll kind of have, this is like, yeah, tactics is pretty fine. Scouting and interpretations, fallback logic of scout dies. I think we did this already. Create a scout spire, target scout trigger checks. Add fallback logic if scout dies early. I actually don't think this. Ensure observers scout critical tech paths mid-game. Add interpretation logic to convert scout info into build decisions. Oh, I see how this was for if when it scouts, how does it change how the bot decides what to do? Yes, I remember now. Add fob. I don't create a scout spire, trigger scout checks. I don't remember what that was. Logging and data storage. Yeah, this was some stuff for like keeping data after each thing. Remove overcharge. We need to do that. So that has to happen because we have to do for the new map. So that's kind of on the next to-do list. Check threat sensitivity around Marines. I don't remember what this was about. Oh, because the Marines threat sensitivity was too low. I remember now. Checking if the regressing is too gap. Fix worker rush so that it returns to mining once it's done. Does that not happen? Did we not fix worker rush so that it returns to mining once it's done? I actually don't remember if that doesn't happen. I thought it did, but I guess that's not. Replay parsing, so that's how to absorb it. Analyzing, learning. Okay, so I mean, tactics and macro are kind of like the last kind of bastions of refactors. So tactics and macros are kind of like the last refactors. And then this stuff kind of gets into the new. We get it in build manager and like we get into like new stuff here. So I'm wondering if we want to do refactors before we put it on the ladder, or do we just want to be like, hey, let's get us ready for the ladder. Maybe what we'll do is too is like we'll actually start moving stuff into, we'll call this like ladder updates, or no, new patch updates. Actually, you know what? We'll put them in the to-do. We'll put that near the like the quick to-dos, because that's kind of where they are. So it's like, this is actually we'll call this the new patch to do. So we have to do, what do we have to do? We have to fix we want to fix the what's it called again? Wall off. Fix wall off to be more flexible with new maps. So we want to create something so that the wall off is flexible with new maps, and we're not really relying on the Eris framework to kind of be updated for that. So we want to have our own stuff. So remove overcharge, threat sensitive, regrouping is too aggressive, fix worker rush so that it returns mining once it's done. So those are good to-dos. We'll call it the new patch to do. So I think we kind of need to do this before it can go up onto the ladder. So this is kind of like, this is like before it can go up the ladder, we have to do this stuff. So maybe we'll work on this next week. So this might be next week's chore. So we do this stuff so that it's, you know, ready to go back up on the ladder, and then we can turn our attention to, because like it's kind of good enough to do once we fix these new patch stuff. Our bot can go up on the ladder pretty easy peasy, and then we can continue working on the tactics, on the macro. We can start working on the, you know, the squads, and we can kind of decide what happens, how we want to break up the squad, because this is gonna be an undertaking. This is gonna be like 2 to 3 weeks, I think, of work will be the tactics and the squad stuff. The patch stuff, everything except for the getting the wall off to be more flexible should be easily doable in like one session. Fix wall off though, I think will be a little bit of a, yeah, I think fixing the wall off thing will be a chore in of itself, but we do want to get our bot onto the ladder. We want feedback from the ladder. We want to see, we just want our bot to be ready to do what it needs to do. All right, I think that's a good time to set off. Any questions, any queries, everybody? Are you just as ready as I am for the next thing? So next thing we're working on next week, actually, you know what, let's start to okay, let's go to our main screen. Okay, so that's it for today. Essentially next week we're going to be working on getting our bot ready for the ladder, and you saw what we had in our chores. So oh, Alpha Channel, you're still here. You didn't even tell me about your bot. Anyways, exclamation mark template for those of you in there. Alpha, thank you so much for sticking around. You were supposed to tell me about your bot. Heartbreak that you didn't, but I'd love to hear about it as soon as you can, or whenever you're ready. And but for those of you out there and you want to get a bot up and running, I put a template. You can get started less than 30 minutes, easy peasy. Ah, you remembered. So actually, I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. I actually want to hear about Alpha Channel's bot or the bot he wants to make. The Alpha bot, Alpha Channel's bot. But if you want to make a bot, there's a template here for you to download. Less than 30 minutes to get started, and there's also a guide at the end of that template, if you so choose, which will help you get a Zerg bot running. So get your Zerg bot running. And if you already have a bot and you want just like this updates, you want to keep on top of what's going on and what we're learning, what I'm learning, I have a newsletter. And that newsletter is every 2 weeks I go through some of the most actionable stuff that can be done on bot making to make it easier for you to make progress. Right? So everything I learn and everything I get and we discover and stuff like from ProBots as well, I put in this newsletter bi-weekly so that you can keep up to the updates of the bot meta, building bots without having to do all the scouring. And I make sure I give you at least one thing you can implement in your bot to make progress. At least one thing. I provide. That's my mission. My goal is always to make sure there's one thing you can take away from each issue that you can put in your bot that can help you. So my bot is my focus is on being assertive with map control and taking advantage of the fastest units of the game, Zerglings, to get better positioning. I love that. Uh, so Alpha, do you have a bot already? Do you already have a bot, or is this what you want to do when your bot is made? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And if anybody else here too, if you're thinking about a bot, and I'm gonna stay around for maybe a few minutes. I'm actually curious to hear if people who have bots, and if they do, I'd love to hear about those bots. I've been playing around with the template. We got a template user. He got a template user. Fantastic. Always happy to hear we got a template user. Did you get the guide that was at the end of the template, learning what the library is providing, what I need to add? So that means you're a Python user, which is good, did you get the guide at the end of the template? Did you go and get it? The Zergling guide. So I made the Zergling guide, the Zergling rush guide, to help you get used to the uh library of the SE2, Python SE2 library. So that is what when I designed that guide, it was to help you get used to the library. Yes, it's for Zerg, but the idea is just to get you to use the library so you can get used to it. And so it's not if you don't. Yeah, there's a Zerg Rush guide. Yeah, it's the bottom. So that guide is supposed to help you get used to. I wonder if I should just lead with the guide. Maybe I shouldn't tell people to do the template, or maybe I should just start off with the Zerg Rush guide, because maybe that's probably better. I think maybe I initially was like, oh, you know what? Maybe people will just want a template, but maybe I should actually start giving people the Zerg Rush guide as a starting point. And I don't know. I'll have to maybe I'll have to rethink this. But anyways, the Zerg Rush guide is at the bottom of the template. So if you just got the template but you wanted to do more, I made a Zerg Rush guide. And that guide will essentially, the guide is meant to be your walkthrough to Python SE2. Like, that's all it is I made it so that you go through all the major steps of Python, building a bot, like the basic stuff, without a framework. So you can just get like your beak wet with the library. Because I use the framework, but I think it's oh, you got the newsletter on your RSS feed. Really, Alpha? I'm about to find out. I didn't know if you're on there. That's really good. I'm glad you're on there. I didn't know you're on there already. But if you're already on there, still sign up for it, and it should send you. It should still send you, if I remember correctly, the guide. If you don't have it, let me know like what's your name actually Alpha on the thing, and I'll just send it. I'll just email it directly to you if it doesn't send it to you. I would gladly like you to. I'd love for you to try it out, and then even tell me how your I didn't actually sign up for email though. Yeah, just sign up. Don't worry if you already are signed up through the newsletter. It won't send it to you. It won't send you the thing. It won't like double subscribe you. It'll just add you the guide. It should send you the guide. So even what name did you put on there on the newsletter? Because if it doesn't send it to you, I would love to make sure I send you an email to make sure you get it. So um I'm going to oh you good. Excellent. And then so yeah, Alpha's signing up right now, or Alpha went to go get the guide, but the Zerg Rush guide, the purpose of it was so that you can get really used to the the library before you start playing with the frameworks, because even though I personally use the framework, I think it's really important and that oh you got it, perfect, that even though I personally use frameworks, I think it's important to understand the underlying library beneath this framework, and then that way um okay cool, I just see you now, you're on there now, cool. So um that you get the framework, and then with the framework what sorry once you understand the library, it gives you you can the frameworks are a lot easier, and you don't get confused, and you can kind of like if the framework doesn't do what it needs to do, you can go into the library and do it yourself. But the Zerg Rush bot is meant to be very straightforward and simple. Alpha, I'd love to you're gonna get an email from me as well, so I will in about an hour. If you run into any trouble at all, if like there's anything that's confusing, please send me an email, reply to an email. I'd love to know. I'd love to get feedback on it, if it was too easy, if it was too hard, or if it was too confusing, because I personally Laughing Games did it, so but I'd love to hear feedback from people if there was a aspect of it that can be improved. I'd love to improve it. In my mind, I thought, okay, this was the best way to help people figure out how to start getting into a bot, right? The idea is I want to help your ideas come to life. And I felt like that was the best and easiest way. So cool. That was exciting. I'm happy to see the alpha actually got the template. I'm gonna actually pop it in here again for those who and I actually think I should one things I would like to redesign this. I would like to redesign this stream so that even on this screen here that I'm talking to you, maybe we can have a chat. And I have to set. Maybe I should have spent some time and just really redesign the stream. And so also, do you guys enjoy this? I'm gonna be a little bit real with you. Like I've been, every week we've been doing this mob programming, and I'm working on this project. And so, are you guys enjoying watching this come to life? Are you enjoying to see the behind the scenes of this bot being built? And if you were, would you want to join in if that's something you want to do? Like, is it like I'm always worried that it might feel too intimidating for someone to be like, oh, I don't want to mess up the code base, whatever, because I wanted this to be a group project so that people who are like part of the community can like interact and whatever with it. Um, but I just kind of want to get this sense of what people feel about it. Anyways, love to hear those things. I think we're done for to this evening, and I feel like I covered all the bases. But yeah, absolutely get started on a bot, really easy. And I'd actually like to hear about what kind of bots you guys want to build. What do you want to get out of a bot? I was actually let me go back to Alpha Channel's thing. My focus is to being assertive with map control. And you know what? I was just thinking how I want like an aggressive bot, because I was seeing Negative Zero and how aggressive he is, and I want an aggressive bot as well. So we obviously just did adding the what was it called again? The combat simulator. So that will really help with the bot being able to be aggressive. I though I think I would for the newsletter this week, I'm actually gonna do a little bit more research to understand how the combat simulator works, because I just put it in this bot and I didn't understand how the combat simulator works. And I think what I wanted to do is maybe understand and go under the hood. of how this combat simulator makes its decision and really break that down. And I think that would be pretty good. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Alpha. Like you want a bot that has really good map awareness and is um just is able to control the map, like has really good controlling of the map. When I see expansions go up uncontested in the Laughing Games videos, I cry a little. Yes. You know, that's an interesting. I wonder if we could incorporate that into our own bot, right? To make sure that our bot can controls the. Let's actually. Hey, actually, I'm gonna steal your idea a second. Let's actually go back to the. I actually want to maybe explore how we can have map control in our bot. Uh, hmm. That would have been a combat, and I've been actually. You know what? I have said to myself, I will not add new features in here until we finish the old ones. So I'm gonna actually put this as a. We'll put this as a. Oh my god. This is a. What do you want to call this? Like a additional later feeder. Additional ideas. So we're not gonna add anything new. I don't because that's how you get feature creep. Um, stronger map control. That is actually a really good idea. Strong. It's not stronger. We don't have any map control. Map control. Map control. Map control. What do you want to call this? Map control module. Attack expansions. Um, attack the enemy when they are greedy. So there is in here the we saw this earlier. Where is it? Whoops, I don't want to do that. Oh, that was not ideal. So we do want to. There is a Eris element where we can actually do map control with checking if the enemy is greedy. So we'll go over that a bit later next time, but let's end up here today. Why is it not switching properly? All right. So let's bring this to an end. Everybody. All right. I said all the spiel. I'm not gonna bore you with it again. I want to see you guys next week. We're gonna work on making sure that the bot has ready for the new ladder is what we're gonna do. Cool. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you next week on Assembly. Music.